Chapter 2. Jake Meets the Glumpher. Once again, through the thick fog, Jake heard the strange sound. He cupped his hands around his ears to hear more clearly. The sound was pleasant, sort of musical, yet sad. HooDoo, HooDoo, HooDoo. Sounds like someone calling for a lost pet, thought Jake. Maybe whoever it is needs help. Jake held his breath and took the step for which he had, a moment earlier, summoned his courage. He watched, amazed and ecstatic, as his leg obeyed without complaint. HooDoo, HooDoo, HooDoo. Impossible, thought Jake. This is impossible. Jake's heart pounded madly, drowning out the sad musical sound. His legs had been useless to him for 6 years. He closed his bright blue eyes tightly against the tears as the memory of the accident flashed before him. HooDoo. The sound chased away the ugly memory. Whoever or whatever was making the sound was definitely getting closer. HooDoo. HooDoo, is that you? Said a voice through the fog. Jake's eyes searched for the owner of the voice. A shadowy shape approached him. HooDoo, HooDoo, is that you? Please, is that you, HooDoo? Asked an anxious but pleasant voice not more than 10 feet in front of Jake. The veil of fog lifted. A fantastic creature stood staring at Jake. The being stood about 4 feet tall. Its skin was the color of pink salmon, and it wore no clothing at all. It had a belly like a basketball, 2 very skinny legs with knobby knees, and huge flat feet about 6 inches wide. A skinny neck supported a head the shape of an upside-down pear with huge ears on either side. 2 long, thin arms with knobby elbows hung from pointy shoulders. The hands of the creature were magnificent, each with 7 elegant fingers that glowed iridescent colors. The creature had all the makings of a normal human being, yet was so different. The creature's face wore an expression of gentleness and love. HooDoo? Whispered the creature, looking as curiously at Jake as Jake was looking at it. Please tell me, are you HooDoo or not? No, I'm not. Jake remembered that he was standing on his own legs without the help of his braces. Well, I don't think I am. Could you tell me where I am, please? Oh dear, replied the creature. I thought you came to help us. We need you ever so badly right now. We've been waiting for you for 2 forevers in an instant. You are HooDoo. I know you are. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here. Besides, I heard someone singing to you. Happy birthday, HooDoo. Happy birthday, HooDoo. Happy birthday, dear Jake. Happy birthday, HooDoo. The creature took a long breath, then continued. Well, now, I don't know what a Jake is, but right now I don't really care. You can teach me about that later. Come, we must not lose any more time. We have only a short time more to save the land of Baturan from an eternity of gray. Jake felt confused. His mind told him that the creature mistook him for someone else, someone of great importance. But in his heart, Jake glimpsed the truth. Maybe, he thought, in this land, wherever this might be, he was someone by the name of HooDoo, someone of great importance. Well, okay, I might be HooDoo after all. Do you have a name? Glumpher, answered the creature. I am the Glumpher. We are thankful that you are here. Shall we flash? Flash? Questioned Jake. How do we flash? It's how we get places quickly, said the Glumpher. It's much faster than walking. We'll never get back in time if we walk. I'm not sure I can flash, said Jake. I discovered I could walk only a moment before you appeared. What? What made you think you couldn't walk? Asked the Glumpher. You've got 2 legs and 2 feet, haven't you? You got here, didn't you? If you didn't walk or flash, how did you get here? I don't know how I got here. The Glumpher shook his head. The elders are certainly in for a surprise. The elders? Who are the elders? Asked Jake. The circle of elders chose me to find you. Elsbeth of the other worlds had a vision that HooDoo would be coming to us through the mists. I was chosen to escort you to our village. A smile chased away the worried expression on the Glumpher's face. I think Elsbeth left out a few details when she described her vision of you to the elders. The opportunity to meet other beings like the one standing before him thrilled Jake. Anticipation overruled his anxiety. I'll try flashing, said Jake. That is, I'll try it as long as you'll catch me if I fall. I hate ending up in a heap on the ground. I'll be right next to you all the way, assured the Glumpher. I'm not sure I'll be able to catch you, but I promise I'll help you back onto your feet. Good enough, I guess. Jake cleared his throat. Okay, Glumpher, he said. Let's flash. Immediately, the 2 of them sped along, a body's length above the countryside, with the swiftness of a cheetah. Jake focused his attention on the blur of the passing landscape. Assorted shapes and forms made up what could have been an ordinary landscape in the mountains of New Hampshire. It appeared gloomy, though. Everything was gray, not the dulled colors created by a thick cloud cover, but just shades of gray. The land lacked color completely. The only color Jake remembered seeing since his arrival was the salmon color of the Glumpher. Wait a minute, Jake thought. What did the Glumpher say about an eternity of gray? Uh-oh, what am I doing here? Maybe I'm not HooDoo after all. Jake's confidence vanished instantly. He fell to the ground with a thump. Hey, yelled the Glumpher, already far ahead of him. He flashed back to where Jake lay in a heap. What's wrong? Are you hurt? No, I don't know. I don't know what this is all about. I can't do whatever it is we're doing, or whatever it is you think I can do. Jake felt angry and frustrated, a feeling all too familiar to him. I don't want to be here anymore. The Glumpher looked directly into Jake's eyes. Jake felt surrounded by a warm blanket. The invisible blanket soothed and comforted him. It reminded Jake of all the times he cried and his mother held him tightly, rocking and singing quietly. His fears vanished. Jake became aware of a voice within him, trying to tell him something. He felt a little peculiar. He had heard the voice before, but couldn't remember when or where. The voice told Jake that he must trust the Glumpher, and he must trust his own strengths, even the ones he didn't know he had. He did not need to pretend to be HooDoo. He was HooDoo. Are you ready to flash again? Whispered the Glumpher. Lead the way, answered HooDoo. After a short time, the Glumpher and HooDoo approached a dense forest. As they got closer, HooDoo found himself sniffing. The forest smelled of pine and nectarines. HooDoo thought about biting into a ripe nectarine. He imagined the juices dripping down his face and landing on his shirt. His mouth watered. When HooDoo and the Glumpher entered the forest, they stopped flashing. The cover of trees cut out almost all the already dim light. Cautiously, HooDoo followed the Glumpher down a narrow path that led deeper into the dark woods. The Glumpher had not spoken to HooDoo during the last half of their journey, but a soothing melody had accompanied them throughout the long trip. HooDoo felt that he learned something from the melody. Like the voice from within him, the melody did not teach with words. HooDoo's senses tingled with life. He inhaled the forest's unusual smells and smiled broadly. They passed by a young sapling that smelled like licorice. HooDoo didn't like the taste of licorice, but he loved its smell. His smile quickly faded as they approached a bush that smelled like his dad's dirty socks. HooDoo would give anything to stick his nose into a pile of his dad's dirty socks again. He wondered if his new birthday wish would ever come true. Yuck! What is this place? Asked HooDoo. Shh! "We're almost there," said the Glumpher. "They are waiting for us. I would like to give them a bit of a surprise, though. They would be disappointed if we came upon them in an ordinary fashion. I have a reputation for doing things a little differently from most Baturians." Instantly, a giant, clear bubble surrounded HooDoo and lifted him slowly above the treetops. He looked around for the Glumpher. The salmon-colored skin had turned bright blue like a clear Maine sky. The Glumpher's knobby knees and knobby elbows glowed a hot pink, and his flat feet stretched out until they resembled cross-country skis. HooDoo watched the Glumpher disappear down a steep slope. A glistening silver cord connected HooDoo's bubble to the vanished Baturian below. A quiet, welcoming hum rose from the forest. As HooDoo neared the humming sound, his bubble drifted closer to the ground. Slowly, gently, the glowing sphere bumped through the treetops. HooDoo stared in amazement at the gathering below him. A silver-colored fire blazed in the center of a small circle of Baturians. Only a few looked like the Glumpher, but they all were of equal magnificence. This was the circle of elders. Standing in the silver light of the fire, looking out through his bubble, HooDoo understood why he had been summoned to Baturin. The melody he had heard while flashing had opened a new door to his own courage. He had learned that he was indeed HooDoo, and his mission in Baturin was to rediscover the song.